Hello and welcome to Cboe Volatility 411 for Friday. My name is Dan Deming and I'm with KKM Financial. Well, we're seeing the SPX hold 3,000 today, folks. Basically, unched on the day was higher initially, and with that, we're seeing the VIX trend lower, down the fourth straight day. 1370 on the VIX cash, the lowest level going back to July 31st of this year, so about a 6 weeks low on that VIX cash. Looking at a couple of reasons, I think we're seeing the cash trend lower this week. We're seeing a market that continues to push higher, so we're seeing an upward trajectory, so it's taking some of the short-term concerns out of the downside. Couple that with realized vol coming in substantially. 10-day realized vol now down to 10%. 30-day realized vol 20%, so that short-dated realized vol coupled with the upward trajectory in the equity markets, and I think that's why you're seeing compression on the VIX cash. Looking at VVIX, measure of implied volatility in the VIX options, we're seeing that holding up actually, 98. So it's actually been pretty firm here the last couple of days, even though we're seeing again the VIX cash coming in. I think it's also we're seeing the VIX futures move quite substantially, and with that we're seeing the implied vol on the VIX options maintain that 98 level or upper 90s level, which is elevated. Looking at the VIX futures, we're seeing a steep term structure between September and October. Now remember folks, next week is expiration for the VIX, so we're seeing a $2.35 premium in the futures between September and October, something to consider as we move towards expiration next week. Looking at activity in those VIX options, I want to point out we got some decent activity in the Sep puts to be expected as we see cash drift lower. Sep 14 puts, about 8,000 of those were traded. 96,000 of the Oct 24s were purchased today as well. And then you look out to Nov and Ds, we're seeing some rolling of positions on the D17 line and the Nov 17 line. Now remember, that's at the money when you look at those futures, so we're seeing some activity there as well. Next week, I got two big factors to focus on. Number one, the Fed announcement on Wednesday, market mover for sure, and also we also have expiration next week, so the market's going to be contending with those two things when you look at the vol structure moving into expiration week.